Brought to you by Express Care Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
Welcome back to Healthy Living. The holidays are supposed to be a joyful time of cheer and happiness, but it's not uncommon for some of us to feel sad or lonely during this time of year. It's known as the holiday blues, and it can really have an impact on your desire to get into a festive mood and celebrate. Express Care's Dr. Jitka Lom joins us in studio to give us some holiday blues busters, as well as help you get on track for New Year's resolutions. Hi, Doc.
Hi.
You look good in your red.
Thank you.
For the holidays. Now, what causes holiday depression? I know there can be a lot of a variety of factors.
Sure. It's mostly a mismatch between what is and what you think should be, how things should be, and that's a gap. So whether it's in your finances, in your relationships, in your work situation, or you're just missing people that are have either passed away or are not living on island, all of these things kind of compound, in addition to the fact that many people are just overwhelmed. They're busy as they are anyway, without adding parties and shopping and cooking and all of that to it. And so it's just a little too much for some.
Okay, now what are some symptoms that people can look out for? I mean, depression is one thing, but maybe just during the holidays you get caught up, like you said, with everything. So what are some symptoms to look out for?
Well, I think if it's just blues, you're just really not, like you said, not really into the holidays or wanting to hide or just sort of a Grinch. But if you're actually suffering from depression, that's different. You have thoughts of worthlessness, even suicide, real physical disturbances, changes in your appetite and sleep, moving slower, maybe sleeping a lot more, or on the other hand, having trouble falling asleep. So many other more serious symptoms that last for at least 2 weeks before you would get checked up.
Now, why is it that the holidays seem to be this time where people just have this momentary or temporary period where they just kind of get depressed? Is it just because, like you said, you just kind of get overwhelmed with all of the things that are the holidays, or?
Yeah, I think so, and they may also be mixing up memories. It's something that comes every year, mixing up memories of what happened in the past and then bringing that into the future, maybe both in a good way, things used to be this way, this person used to be here and now they're not, for example, or you know, in a bad way, like I remember that horrible Christmas when, you know, the whole family blew up or something awful. So that's another thing to sort of watch out for. Don't bring the past into the present. We're in the now and we need to stay there.
Okay. Now, can a lack of sleep, you know, this is a time when you talked a little bit about there's lots of parties and there's a lot more stress. You're trying to get all the presents, you're still working, things like that. So can a lack of sleep help contribute or make it worse?
Definitely, definitely. And also alcohol along with that, because many people are drinking a bit more and that'll disturb their sleep. Eating a lot more late at night, that'll disturb their sleep too. And then staying up late, like you said. So if you can, try to stick to a regular routine and just don't take on so much. You know, there's still the rest of the year to see everybody.
Easier said than done, of course, during the holidays. And so what are some ways, some healthy ways for people to cope?
I think that one of the very important things is to remember that this too will pass, okay? And 2 weeks from now, this will all be a memory and you will get through it. Taking it one day at a time and just focusing on each day and each hour, if necessary, of what you need to get done. As well, I think it helps to think of gratitude. That we always talk about that, of remembering the things that we are thankful for, that we are blessed with in our lives. That always helps people. And then reaching out to others and letting them know how you feel, because sometimes if you just share your burden, other people can help you carry it.
You know, having an attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
I like that. And then also, you know, this is a time of year when a lot of those less fortunate in our community, this is a good time, maybe if you're feeling kind of blue, that you can lend a helping hand or find a way to bring joy to others, and in doing so, it'll bring joy to yourself.
It always does, even if it's just an animal, if it's a pet, or if, certainly another person, and there are many that you could help. Pick the person that you like the least and do something nice for them, shock them.
All right. Now, we're also talking about New Year's resolutions. We're actually going to be off. Our show hits on Christmas as well as New Year's Day, so we'll be off those days. But as people talk about the holidays and we talk about the new year that's approaching, how do you recommend people start preparing their New Year's resolutions and things that they want to resolve to do in 2013?
Well, first, give it some thought. Think about, instead of the holiday blues right now, think about how you want your 2013 to go. There must be a few things that you're thinking of you'd like to improve, you'd like to change. How to be successful is to not take on too much or take too big of a bite. So small resolutions that are achievable and manageable are the ones that you can be successful at. And if you can at all start them before the 1st of January, it's really the best, because then you're already hitting the ground running and you already are developing some really good habits. So if you can start before the 1st of January and not get disappointed, that's best.
So be realistic
Be realistic.
goals.
So if if your goal is to run a mile, let's start with, walking a block if necessary. Maybe instead of making it a 100% goal, saying I'm going to wake up in the morning every day at 6 o'clock, okay, maybe 5 days out of 7 I'm going to do that. There are all different ways of making it a goal that you can really achieve and then feel good about and always work up from.
I've always told myself I'm going to get up that early to exercise, and I always hit the snooze button.
Or another way is just, if it's that getting up early thing, a lot of people have that. Then just do it in 15-minute increments. Say, okay, in January, 5 days out of 7, I'm going to get up 15 minutes earlier than now, and then you'll definitely achieve it. And then the next month you can increase.
All right. So, and finally, just give us some last tips on how to stick with it. A lot of times we are going to the gym, getting healthier, losing weight. Those are the big New Year's resolutions that we hear a lot about. But how do you recommend that people stick to it? You said, increments, doing things a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
But what are the best ways for people to really stick to those resolutions?
These are challenges for all of us, but I think begin with the end in mind. Know where you want to get to. Okay, so at the end of December 2013, you will have done these things that you want to do. So in the middle of January, you're nowhere near that goal and you won't quit because you know that you still have a long way to go. So that helps. And then again, making your resolution achievable so that you're not disappointed and give up on yourself before you've really even started.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Doc, for
You're
that.
welcome.
Getting out and helping others, of course, during the holidays, as Doc mentioned, is a great way to beat the blues. We will pick up our discussion on holiday blues busters and New Year's resolutions and how to stick to them when we return. Stay with us.